All right, everyone. Welcome to round 2 from the 2020 Waco Annual Charity Open, presented by Prodigy Discs. Thanks to Parse Productions for this post-round coverage. This is the chase card featuring James Conrad, Cale Leiviska, Philo Brathwaite, and Colten Montgomery. We are getting right into the action. Hole 1, it's a par 3, 291 feet. You've got an OB rough right in front of you, OB left, and OB right that kind of closes in and around the pin up here. And we must note, Paige, that we woke up this morning and found out that round 2 is going to be the final round here.
Yeah, no longer playing round 3. So this is the final 18 holes to crown a champion. James up first there with the big wide spike hyzer.
Yeah,
it's a nice little roll.
James, and that's about as good as you can throw that hyzer. Yeah, so these players are all at 7 under par.
Cale going down the middle with a slower speed disc. Beautiful line, just nice and straight. It's got a birdie putt.
Looks like Philo's lining up the middle. Okay, he's going hyzer.
A little low on that release, but he's calling for it to turn. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Found a gap down there right at pin high, and he's also going to be inside the circle for a birdie putt. Colten with a nice wide release. I like the width of this one. It's not going to be too close to the OB.
Yes.
Beautiful shot. Almost actually went in.
Color Glow FD3 from Colten.
And look at this. Cale is the farthest out at 12 feet. Sneaks it in there.
Look at it. Just over the rim. Cale putting with that new P Model S from Prodigy.
And Cale just had a really good showing at Memorial, getting a top 10 finish there. It's good to see him back on the tour.
James gets that JK AVR to stick on the left side.
And Philo, just turning 40 years old, still competing at the highest level. It's amazing.
He's been competing at a really high level this
year. For a long time, too. He has been.
And 2020 might be some of the best golf he's played. He's already won an A tier, and I think the Memorial was the only time he's finished outside the top 10, and he got 11th.
That's amazing.
And
Philo's such a good player, and he's only getting better. And Colten, up-and-comer, 1021 rated. 1013 rated. Long bomber.
All-star, though. That's a good all-star.
To start out.
Started off.
Windy, yeah.
These first 3 holes are playing under par.
Actually getting to help design a disc the way that you want it to fly is, I feel like I'm on top of the world. With the FX, it fits a spot in between the F and the H. I wanted something that was torque resistant and it had a little bit of finish on the end. It's a very usable disc all around.
Hole 2, it's a par 4, 631 feet. You've got a tree right in the middle you need to go left or right of. That sidewalk on the right is out of bounds. There is also a sidewalk on the left that doesn't come into play too often, and this pin was pushed back into the right another 30 feet, changing the angles just a bit. James is lining up a wraith here. Oh, and that was a little early out of the hand, and
sneaks through there, though.
Gets a redirect, and he's going to be in a good position up there.
Yeah, that pin moving backwards, I think, definitely comes into play on your second shot. I saw quite a few players go OB out the backside because it's a lot closer to the OB deep. Cale with a nice smooth power shot right here. Right into the center of the fairway. He's going to have nice flat footing.
There is definitely something to be said, though, Paige, about the atmosphere of this round right here. I believe this is the first Pro Tour ever that has been cut short in this matter.
Yeah, and all of us are kind of scrambling this morning thinking, where do we go when this round ends?
Right, so we just got news. Not only is round 3 canceled, but PDGA Majors and Elite Series events are canceled through April.
Yeah. So it's a lot of stuff going on in your mind.
Look
But
at Colten flip that PD2 up. Oh my gosh.
Wow, that was a beautiful release.
That's the most overstable disc for most players, and Colten got that one to flip up and
Ride forward
fly
for a
almost
while.
500 feet. So waking up this morning, like you said, everyone is kind of scrambling, and it feels a little bit different. It's definitely different than your average 3-round, 4-round event.
Yeah, and in my mind playing this round as well, I'm thinking like, wow, this is my last competitive round of disc golf for a long time. And, I'm sure that's a common thought amongst all these players that, they want to make this one matter. And all these guys coming into the round tied at 7 under with the lead.
Yeah, just
within
4
reach.
back. They're 4 back
Yeah.
of Paul going into this round. So it's possible. And these players all know that, especially at a course like the Beast.
James with a great approach. He's going to be inside the circle. Philo's tucked up against this tree, though, and forced to throw sidearm. And we'll see what he does about a follow-through, because if he does get a full follow-through, he might hit that tree.
Yeah, we've seen Philo bust this forehand out a few times this year.
Ooh, nice, fast, snappy release. And he uses that green.
Gets another decent break right there. That was a little low and hyzered. It could have skipped over that sidewalk.
Mm-hmm. Colten with the link here. You're loving that one, putting with it.
Absolutely. And Colten's throwing this soft, exo soft plastic for his off the tee and approaches.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
What
I
a
actually
great
thought
bid.
that's going to have a chance. I've been watching Cale putting out a bunch of videos lately, and he's been trying to make some shots from about that distance.
Mm-hmm.
So,
With that kind of spin.
yeah. Philo now for birdie from about 20.
A little bit of headwind, right to left, excuse me. Yeah, that headwind, it's a factor, Paige.
Yeah, it absolutely is, especially when,
You can hear it blowing.
you can see the ripples in the water out of your peripheral, the branches above your head. James right in the center, though. It's a good birdie to pick up. All right.
What an amazing frame right there. Shot of James putting that AVR in. And
Shout out
wobble's
to-
okay, folks. It's okay if your disc wobbles,
Yeah.
if it's in the heart.
If it's headed right towards the center of the pole. Colten with the easy birdie there.
Colten's repping the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, he is.
I'm a UT alumni myself. Just an hour and a half down the road.
Yeah, something else that comes into play on this round, like we're talking about the mental game, it's also like pretty emotional. I feel like, we're all out here grinding every week, these tournaments are our paychecks.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of a thought going on too, that becomes very emotional. Like, how am I going to make money over these next few weeks? And
no, we're all talking about it.
it's a lot of extra pressure. all the players are feeling.
Yeah, it's a good point, Paige. Moving into hole 3. It's a par 3, 320 feet. You've got a couple gaps on the right. You've got a gap on the left. We've got an elevated pin here. We're throwing into the headwind again. James has been taking this Firebird not super wide, but just wide of that tree on the right. Baby flex. Just needs to miss that one, and it does.
Beautiful shot. That was the perfect width around that tree. Little hot when it hit the ground, so it's going to skip to close to circle's edge, but James's stroke looks good, his putting stroke. Colten goes for the more straight route. Still a hyzer, but inside gap. Oh!
Got a little kick off that tree. I couldn't quite see it. That was a S-Line MD5 from Colten. Stable mid-range with a bead. It's an FX2 from Cale. We've seen a lot of that disc lately.
Yeah, we have.
Luke's been throwing it. Cale's been throwing it.
Chris, loving it.
Yep.
He preferred that route that James went, the wide hyzer, but you can see that hill from, it goes uphill to the left, and so he didn't quite get it up over it. Philo has plenty of height, though. And
trails off a little left. He's going to be outside the circle. These elevated pins really put the pressure on to get it close, you know it?
Cale just a tiny bit low there. Let's see if Philo can get it up high enough into this wind on the elevated pin.
He's got maybe direct left to right wind.
Oh.
It's a really tough putt right there.
Yeah, and straddle stance around those trees.
So it doesn't look like James is obstructed by that tree. He's got his normal stagger stance.
Getting nice and low in that stance and pushing off.
Yes, that's a great putt from James.
James is now 3 for 3.
Look
Moving
at that
himself
draw.
up to
Look
10
how
under.
low that draw is, everybody.
Such a good extension, too. He's pushing off that back leg so much.
Yeah, and that back leg gets high, too. Every time I've noticed that when we're practicing together, that leg always lifts up off the ground.
Mm-hmm. Colten finds himself closest to the pin. Let's see if he can convert here and also go 3 for 3. And he does, right in the center. So Colten and James are kind of battling right now. And I'm excited to see what happens going into these woods and back on the beast. And Philo and Cale are going to card pars. And they will be 2 back of Colten and James at this moment. Now we got a change of pace, big time. A lot more trees coming up and holes you got to shape.
This one you definitely have to shape, Paige. Hole 4 is a par 4 coming in at only 441 feet, but as you can see from this fly through right here, it is tight. This is the landing zone right here. You've got to go inside or outside and beat all these little guardian trees. The basket is perched right up here next to the river. One of the iconic holes in the area.
And two, you can have a great drive. You can have a really good game plan in mind, and your drive lands 3 feet more left or more right of where you wanted, and you have to adjust your game plan on the second shot.
Yep, as you can see right there, James actually laced that gap, but that gator just pushed a little straight, and he's completely out of position even after a good drive.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times it comes down to just like simple ground play.
Yep.
Did your disc hit a root? Did it touch a leaf? Did it catch grass?
Right. What angle did it hit the ground on too? Colten goes for the wide hyzer. looking for it to skip left, I'm guessing, but again, he skips straight, and he's going to be right near James, kind of pinched off for the birdie, but maybe they can make something happen.
So that was a method from Colten, a neo method.
Cale, nice hyzer release. Oh, and even that.
Just didn't quite get the forward slicing skip that he was looking for.
I really liked that angle out of his hand. I thought that was going to work out really well. Let's see if Philo can get one in the center of the gap here and land in the ideal spot so you guys can see.
This is Philo's stable glow rock 3. That looks money.
Oh, yes. Inside gap. I think that
push.
is yes. And a little kiss off that tree.
That's in
now,
prime position.
Yeah. And he doesn't even have to choose if he wants to go inside or outside.
It's shots like these in the woods that are make or break right here. When you're just out of position. Oh my gosh.
Cale.
That was the prettiest little air bounce shot I've ever seen.
That was beautiful.
Oh, wow.
A lot of players in that position would overturn it and get a little cut roll into the woods, and Cale just made that look so simple.
That was buttery smooth. I want to see that shot again.
Yeah. Colten, nice out right into the
Colten's
center.
Pitch out.
He didn't get around the corner like Cale did, but he's going to be in great position to save par from there.
And again, it's shots like these that you just can't plan for. You know, all the practice that you do, you're not landing in a spot like that and practicing that shot, you know, so.
James did go for it. He hit a tree and stopped him, but he is in the center, so he was trying to get up and down for that birdie still, but he'll be looking for a par. And you were just talking about, like, you don't practice for that, but isn't that a big reason that a lot of you top pros go out there and play cash rounds against each other in practice?
Yeah.
To kind of simulate it?
Yeah, we try. Yeah, that's the idea of the cash round, is to exactly simulate the pressure and simulate the different ways that you're going to, different lies that you're going to have on a hole like hole 4 here at the Beast.
Colten lining up with his link here. Oh, no. A little bit too turned over, and he brings that one tree into play, kicks him short and left. But he is still in range to hit that putt. It is going to be a long one, though. Although James hits that tree, he's still in 12 foot or less.
Wow, look at this.
Whoa,
the wind is coming right off the river there. This is about a 50-footer.
Oh, great bid. It's a tiny bit low, but he does stay safe. There is water down that hill that is easy to find if you throw one in there too fast.
Oh, yeah, it gets there quick. Cale
lining up a little Amy release.
Hitting that spin putt again.
Ooh. No chance, he said. It looked beautiful, just a tiny bit more power.
That would have been.
It was a good line.
Some kind of up and down after that. Just insane little air bounce shot.
So beautiful.
So Philo is our only birdie on the hole. Colten has this for
bogey.
A bogey 5. Straight across the chest.
So Philo's going to move up ahead of Cale, and Colten's going to drop back one of James. We got a tight race.
The competitive side was really just, part of that transition of being a high school athlete. Kind of found disc golf just before my senior year. Once that happened and I found out there was like tournaments and I could compete and, possibly travel and become a professional, there wasn't really any doubt in my mind what I was gonna do. I'm known for circle 2 putting at this point, but I'm very solid, I think, in all aspects of my putting game. I'm pretty solid inside the circle. Whether the statistics show it or what other people think, in my own mind, I know that I'm the best putter, and some people may laugh at that or some people don't, but it doesn't matter because that's what I think. I'm not thinking, am I gonna make it I am gonna make it. And if I happen to miss that putt, it doesn't change. Like every time, I am going to make it into the basket. Being just confident overall and knowing that even if you miss that putt, that you're going to make the next one. That's kind of the mindset I want to put myself in. My name is Cameron Messerschmidt, and I play for Gateway Disc Sports.
All right, moving in to hole 5. It's a par 3, 264 feet. Got these terraced little fairway right here, 3 different levels. Pretty tight gap, 20 feet across. What do you got on this one, Paige?
Yeah, I think it looks so simple, but if you misfire a little early or a little late, you're going to be looking at definitely no birdie chance and maybe even a bogey. This is a common play, a little bit.
Throw it straight into that hillside, get a little skip up to the top.
And Philo executes that perfectly. James, on the other hand, is going with a putter, and he says he has to mash this one hard. Just came out a little early, and he's going to filter through that left side. Honestly, it looked like it was going to hit that tree and just drop down, but it penetrated up, and he's just outside the circle.
Oh, yes. Look at that gentle drift
Wow,
to the right.
Cale's shots are just so beautiful.
Yeah,
They're
really
so
are.
smooth, and the spin he puts on it is just like perfectly executed.
Wow, so this is a soft link from Colten.
Hyzer flip. It's just now flipping up to flat, and he's going to be over there near James on the left side. It's a tiny bit early with those putters. Colten from 50.
Oh, my goodness.
Dead center.
So direct.
Beautiful Hyzer putt. Look at that. Wow. Beautiful.
Absolute
That's exactly
perfect
where
putt.
you want to hit the chains.
I love how it's just a standstill, just stab, too.
Yep. And he immediately makes up for the bogey on the last hole, moving himself back to 3 under par after 5 holes. Oh, tiny bit left from James. So Colten and James are now tied again for this at this point. Philo moves one closer to James. This is exciting.
Yeah, it is. This is a great card.
Cale with essentially a drop in.
James not happy about a circle 1 miss right there. Look at this. That is textbook form right there.
So we got, Philo actually jumped up to tie Colten and James as well. So we have 3 players at 10 under, and Cale's just right behind at 9 under.
Hole 6 is a par 3 at 267 feet. This is the gap right here. It's maybe 15 feet across. Back down this hill and to the right is the pin. And you've got to have some speed control as you finish this shot because it is pretty gnarly past the bucket and to the right.
Yes, it is. And we're seeing Philo go for a forehand tee shot. It's not unheard of that he throws a sidearm,
That's
but
pretty
off
surprising.
the tee.
That's pretty surprising for me
Yeah.
on this one off the tee.
Especially because he has such a beautiful, like, slow turning Anheuser
Sure.
shot. As does Cale. I'm excited to see this one fly. Just a tiny bit early out of his hand. He's going to hit that left side and stop his forward progress.
That looks like a
Ooh.
Lazat FD3 from Colten. All right, and that was a really fast shot. As you can see, it was headed right, kicks the tree and kicks back out into the circle.
Yeah, kicks him a little bit backwards, but it's in the center of the
Look
fairway.
at that. That is such
Wow,
No one
James.
really throws shots like that on that severe of hyzer, flipping that quick like that. That's
Yeah.
an old greenie. It's an old school JK AVR.
Yep.
I feel like if you don't know that disc, you haven't been watching disc golf. for the past
Exactly.
few
James
years.
throws that disc so much, and it's so good every time. His angle control on that putter is unmatched, I think. Philo now from about 50, 45.
Philo has been upwards of 85% from this range
Oh,
over the past few months.
and Colten looks to be just inside the circle.
Oh, wow.
Wow, dead center. His putt is on right now.
That putt on the last hole definitely can help set the pace. A putt like that from 45, 50 feet,
Watching it fly in
yeah,
perfectly.
it gives you the confidence to hit another one like he just did.
James.
Oh, yeah.
Great birdie as well. Yeah, and like we talked about, all the other external things going on. These players are feeling motivated to make a statement and to, get as high up in the ranks as possible before who knows what's going to happen over the next couple months.
Yeah, I know it. It's crazy. Well, we still haven't even decided
Yeah.
what we're doing with our lives, Paige.
Cale, on the other hand, knows where he's going. He's going back home to Minnesota, running his shop, Airborne Disc Golf. So cool that he's got a big shop going.
Yeah, he's been killing it. Airborne.
You can
I
go
love
in
their
there and
stuff.
practice in the winter. It's probably why his putt looks so good. He's practicing indoors 24/7.
Here's a little look at Colton's forehand. Another 2, 4 down through 6 for James and Colton.
And here we are on hole 7. This is a par 4, 462 feet. This first part of the fairway is very tight, a small gap, and a Mando on the left that you have to get through and land in this grassy area. And then your second shot, you're throwing over this ditch and hopefully landing close enough on that backside where you can tap one in. But if not, you got a scary putt either way.
Yeah, this one is really all about the drive. Oh, no.
A little bit early, but that tree kick to the left is actually fine. He's
You
still going to
can
be
get
in
up
that
and
grass
down.
field.
Yep.
He's just got a lot more distance to cover, especially compared to James. Wow, this is perfectly placed.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as you get out that gate, it is a relatively routine upshot. Hole 7 is playing a half stroke under par during round 2.
Okay, Philo was calling for it to scoot over. He hit a tree and kicked him left as well. This is an interesting hole because a great drive and a decent drive aren't really separated that much.
Yeah, as long as you're out there in the field, you can get up and down.
Colten just has a little bit more distance to cover.
Yeah, he's got maybe 240 right here. Looks like he's got the soft link in his hands again.
Yeah. And the gap's so late down there. So you can think you threw it perfect, and then at the last, 50 feet, it starts to drift one way or the other. Kind of like this one. Oh, whoa. Lots of action. Was drifting right, kicked left.
Yeah, there's not really a putt over there.
Sometimes you can find a hole, but it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
You have to be in perfect little window. Philo a little bit shorter of a throw than Colten had. Same thing. He said it's yanked. But there is a little gap he just found.
A little bit better of a result than Colton's for sure. It kind of looked like he just punched right through, and he's going to have a 20-footer.
Might be a little bit of obstacles in the way. And you can see it's more difficult than it seems.
Yeah, I
Cale.
mean, the gap is only 20 feet across, and if you if you miss it left or right, it's pretty common to kick down into the bottom of that
Then
bowl.
you're looking at a 40-footer uphill. James is in a jump putt stance. That's how good that drive was. Wow. And he is going to have an easy birdie. Oh, Colten has a look from here, actually. It was
Sure did.
severe hyzer look, but he had a chance.
Not sure if Cale has a window right here or not.
Look how wide his
Just
stance
inside the
is.
circle, 1 foot on the
Oh, he's even taken his 11
cement
inches.
wall right there.
Nose up spin.
Oh,
Oh. Looked like it was on the right path. Just took a little bit off.
Okay, so Philo's actually dropped down. He's got this straddle. Look how wide his stance is right now.
Little bit of a late release there. It's easy to do
It's
when you're in
very
that stance.
easy to pull it when you're out of position like Philo was.
Ooh,
Oh, and that's a good left side stick right there.
that absolutely was a great catch. Oh, and again, the gusty wind. You just never know when it's going to hit. Whoa. Is that Philo?
That sounded like a wild Philo.
Well,
I mean, it's frustrating when you're at this level and, you know, this is one of the easier par fours on the entire course. You know that you're losing strokes to Macbeth. You're definitely losing stroke to James. It's frustrating.
but it also goes to show you it's all about mental game as well. I mean, Colten just got the same score and smiled as he's walking away. So I think there's something to be said about how you react.
So hole 8, the shortest par 3 on the entire property, coming in at only 213 feet. We've got this really tight gap on the left side. There is a right side gap. Don't see it played too often. This basket is right up here on this ledge. There is rollaway potential on this hole if you don't get close off the drive.
Yeah, and if you don't have good speed control, you can find yourself down that hill looking at a 40-foot putt uphill. James, a tiny bit low. He's going to skid into the ground just outside the circle, but he hit the gap. This is
He hit the
actually a
gap.
hard
It's
gap
important
to
hit the gap.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
As you can see,
I mean, that's a misfire, but it's not that difficult to do on
No,
this hole
it's
because
not.
it's so tight. You have to be so precise, and it kind of forces you into.
ooh, Philo. That was beautiful. Tiny bit left,
Pushes
but
all the
he's
way
almost
through,
pin
though.
high. Yeah, 213 feet, shortest hole in the course, but it's also the smallest gap.
Yep.
And this is a distance that players aren't
Oh, that
used
was
to throwing. Cale,
Perfect.
I could watch him all day.
Yeah.
Luckily, we can, thanks to Parsave. Ooh, Colten, what?
Oh,
You hit the pole.
he hit the pole.
Sick.
That was a
Awesome
Tiger
release.
Warrior on a forehand approach.
Awesome release. Clearly dead on his aim, just a tiny bit low if he was running that
No,
long.
James, no. No.
All right. Nice shot of
It
Philo's
gets
bag.
front cage and rolls down the hill.
Oh, not too far.
Okay.
That is definitely makeable. Unless you're thinking of it as a negative thing and you're mad that you rolled. That's pretty much the only thing that's going to get
Looks
in your
like he
head
went
here.
back into his routine right there. Converts his par.
He wishes he
Shaking
could
his
get
head
that
in
one back.
disappointment right there for sure, Paige. I mean, this is the final round.
Yep. And he's battling. He's out there shooting a great round. Every stroke's going to matter. You can see how close the scores are. Philo with a nice center putt there. Picking up a birdie. Cale with a drop in.
Wow. So smooth.
This is mesmerizing watching those slow motion replays. So James is at 12 under, Colten and Philo are at 11, and Cale's at 10.
All right, we're moving into hole 9. It's a par 4, 519 feet. A great shot. Gets all the way down into this bowl right here, and you can actually see right down this alleyway. This is the third hardest hole on the beast. And you can see why right here. Look how small this gap is. Any of these early trees, and you're bringing in scores like 5, 6, even 7
Yep.
if you hit early and kick off into these woods.
So the bigger gaps on the right side. Oh my
wow.
goodness, Philo. Like he said, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, it was on track to be perfect.
Yeah,
to
that
hit
was
the
pure 90%
very
of the
last
way.
tree. But he's still happy with that. He's
Yeah,
way
absolutely.
down there. Cale's looking to replicate that shot. I mean, that gap was hit so perfectly. Some players do go that left side though with the late flip.
I don't know if anyone ever does it on
On
purpose.
purpose? You think so?
You know
It's just
what?
an early release. Yeah, maybe so.
It's such a small gap. I can't imagine anyone ever choosing to hit that left side gap.
Yeah, that low hanging branch that goes to the left is really,
Creeps into the mind.
yeah, your mind just gets worked by that. You really think about, okay, don't hit that branch. And then I still have, you know, almost 500 feet to cover still. So it
James
makes,
going KJ Nipo T-Bird right here.
that was on a bullet, dead straight. It's a tiny bit left of the gap.
This is an S-line FD from Colten.
Oh,
Looks like it got by the tree that James squared up, and he kicks
close to where
somewhat
Philo
into the
is.
fairway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a very common shot on this hole. To hit and kick into the rough and have to kind of reach out and throw a little pitch out forehand.
Yeah, he wanted it to stop where that green grass ends. He's going to be a little bit too pinched on the left side, but that was a really good shot, just a tiny bit fast. Colten goes around the corner with his link, and he's right in the center of the gap. He's not in putting range, but he's going to have it easy up and down from there.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, Philo, you are right. It did get
just
greasy up there.
All the way up around the corner?
Yeah, he hit that dirt perfectly on a good angle, and it got a big ol' skip. Cale. What happened? I don't know what happened either. That was beautiful. Wow, so smooth on that Anheuser spin. Just a little bit too inside, I guess, and clipped a tree and knocked him down.
And this is James with back-to-back forehand Anheisers. And just a little overturned on that one.
And from there, I mean, you're close to circle 2, but you don't really have a look at the basket with all those
No.
small trees on the left there.
And look at this. Cale, with his body open, is going to be throwing an Anheuser. That is very difficult to do.
Yeah, he's got it mastered beautifully. He should do a little tip video on those shots. Colten just puts it right on up there. He's not even going to run this one, just going for the drop-in par. Like you can see, James doesn't have much of a clean look at the basket. So he'll just pitch a hyzer jump putt up there. All right, Cale. It's a good hit to save par. Tester distance for sure.
This is Philo for
birdie. Wow.
very rare 3.
Yeah, last year this was a par 5, so that actually would have been considered an eagle. And I think it's one that's in the middle. I think that
Only 7 threes on the day, and that was one of them right
wow. I'm glad we got to see it. He got that skip right around there. So beautiful. Philo will actually move up to the leader on this card, 12 under par. It's so fun to see these scores keep flip-flopping every hole. You know,
there. Yeah, Philo actually took the front 9.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement on this card and, you know, on the whole leaderboard. So make sure you guys check out the back 9. Things are getting very interesting. It could be anybody's tournament at this point still.
Pretty sweet flyover the Brazos River area over here in Waco, Texas. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you to Parsave Productions. Thank you to Prodigy Discs. Thank you to the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and thank you to all the fans out there tuning in.
I hope you guys enjoy this coverage, and make sure you check out the back 9.